What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On this segment, let's talk about Bo Nickal's potential. Can Bo Nickal become UFC champion one day? Let's get into this. Alright, so starting with Bo Nickal's stats, still a young man, 27 years old, 6'1", 75-inch reach, mixed martial arts record currently 3 wins, 0 losses, 1 knockout win, 2 submission victories. Some of Bo's background as far as like his wrestling creds. In freestyle wrestling, he claimed a 2019 U23 World Championship and the US Open National Championship. He was a finalist at the 2020 US Olympic Team Trials and a final X contestant in 2019. As a collegiate wrestler, Nickal was a 3-time NCAA Division I national champ, a finalist in 2016, a 3-time Big Ten Conference champion, and that's out of Pennsylvania State University. So, how far can Bo Nickal go? There's a path he becomes UFC champ one day. Why? Because wrestling is one of the strongest bases you can have in mixed martial arts. Wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he has the wrestling skill in abundance. When you're an amazing wrestler, you dictate where the fight takes place. That's huge. If you're losing on the stand-up and want to slow things down, you can get a takedown and do so. When you want to keep the fight on the feet standing, when an opponent wants to get you to the mat, where it might be their strong suit, let's say they're like a high-level submission grappler, you can keep the fight standing because you have the wrestling skill to do so. You have massive options as a high-level wrestler. Wrestlers tend to have natural power, probably due to their strong cores and body mechanics from wrestling and grappling for so many years. So when they pick up striking skill, they can become dangerous because typically they have knockout power. And you could develop knockout power from technique, mechanics, but some guys, you got it or you don't. And with wrestlers, those guys tend to have it. Here's another thing. Wrestlers have super mental toughness and they have an extreme will to win, which translates very well to mixed martial arts. They're used to being in a competitive environment and they thrive under pressure. They thrive. It's nothing to them. Competition is competition, whether it be wrestling or fighting, and they treat it as such. They do what's needed to win. They don't overthink it. It's a competition to them. This is another huge one, mega conditioning. High-level wrestlers are some of the most impressive and conditioned athletes on the planet, period, point blank. This also transfers so well to mixed martial arts as cardio and conditioning are king as far as what's needed physically to excel. If you have no cardio and conditioning, you are simply not going to go far. I'm sorry. Super important. Here are some cons coming from a pure wrestling background. Well, the lack of striking skill. That's something a pure wrestler has to just learn. And with some, it doesn't come easy. Some pure wrestlers never develop adequate striking skill and fluidity. Obviously an issue and limits them. But you can argue, look at Khabib. Khabib pretty much dominated with wrestling and grappling, but he's a special case. Submission defense. Just as they have to become skilled at striking, wrestlers also have to become very familiar with submission grappling and BJJ. There's no other way around this. This is also super crucial. Elite wrestlers to an extent in mixed martial arts can defend themselves from subs via dominant positioning and control, but that only goes so far. A good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner will catch you in something eventually. Final verdict on Bo Nickal. The mixed martial arts game is his to conquer and an oyster to open, honestly. He has all the potential in the world if he continues to develop the rest of his skills and is humble enough to be real with what he's lacking. So far, he's shown knockout ability and submission ability in this early stage of his career, which is really promising. There is a reality where Bo Nickal becomes a UFC champion 100%. Kind of like the Marvel multiverse. There's a path for that, but it's not a lock. Let's see what he does this weekend against Jalen Turner. But in short, those are my thoughts on Bo Nickal and his potential. You guys let me know in the comment section. Do you think Bo Nickal can become UFC champion one day? Do you think he's going to be like a flash in a pan? Is it too early to say? Want to read your thoughts? Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it first time at the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Like and share, that's a great way to help the channel grow. Appreciative of you guys. And until the next segment, you all take care. Later.